Hello everyone, my name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of UHS Vlogs. I'm still not sure if I should keep that name or not, but I'm gonna go with it anyways. What happened in the last episode? Well, if you didn't see it, go check it out. But what happened in the last episode was basically, well, you know what I do. I talk about my first week of school and how it went. It was pretty good, I guess, overall. And today I'm gonna talk about my second week of school, because I can only assume that you loved the first video so much that you wanted to see a second one. Well, here you go. And if you haven't noticed, this is the exact same shirt I wore in the last video. So yeah. Before we begin talking about school, I need to talk about one thing. Uploading dates and recording dates. I do plan to follow this pattern where I record on the weekends and edit on the weekdays. The only problem is that sometimes that doesn't work out and I'm filled with editing in the weekends, and sometimes I'm basically just very occupied. I have to upload things really late. In fact, Gun Augmentations Part 4 has been cancelled, sadly, due to heavy workload and such. But you can see the trailer. You probably don't know what I'm talking about unless you do. But anyways, to the vlogging. Once again, I have written all the things down in my notebook, and we'll start reading. Okay. There's a lot more things to talk about in this episode, so I'm going to try to see if I can quickly go through all this. Okay, so in math, something interesting is that we got our math textbooks today, which, I have it right now with me, but it's basically, Nelson math book. Nothing too special, pretty okay, I guess. It's textbook, there's not really much to say. What else? Oh yeah, so the shirts. I was thinking that I should probably show you what the uniforms and such look like, but maybe not today. If you want to see what the uniforms look like, because they're pretty cool, and I haven't got the hoodies yet, but they're pretty cool, they're pretty nice looking, because of course this is an art school, they probably designed it with a lot of thought and intention and stuff, but they're pretty cool. If you want me to show you them, just let me know, probably. So, high schools have cafeterias. Cafeterias are pretty cool. The cool thing about UHS cafeteria is that they have freshly baked cookies, which is kind of cool. So what to do is that they, so I can assume in the back of the cafeteria there's like a kitchen area, of course, and then there's probably like some sort of oven. And the thing about the cookies is that they're absolutely massive. Like, they're super large cookies. They have like the small normal size one. They have like the ones that are really big and flat, and they look absolutely amazing. I think I can show you an image. I'm not sure if I will, but yeah, they're huge. Yes, during gym class, we played a game of stones, which is basically capture the flag with multiple flags. And the cool thing about that is we went to the back. I think it's the technically back section or east section. No, west section. The west section of Unionville, I think. Basically, there's a big soccer field, and there's the bridge and the highway and such. So basically, that area, there's like the big soccer field, and there's a bridge, and there's a highway. And the cool thing is that you have the parking lot. Okay, how do I represent this? You have like the parking lot over here. Then you have the soccer field here. You have the road over here. But in between the road and the soccer field is like a huge ditch, like a really deep ditch, which is why there's a bridge on the other side over there. There's like a huge ditch. What's cool is that, well, it's absolutely massive, and when we were playing stones or capture the flag, you could actually go down through that ditch, although no one did because it's like a safety hazard, but you could still go there. In fact, they even allowed us to walk on the sidewalk and on the bridge and pretty much everywhere, which is pretty awesome because, like, usually in elementary school, like, you can barely go anywhere out of the school without having a teacher supervise you constantly. So it's pretty cool, actually. You could go down the huge ditch. It's amazing. The ditch is cool because it's absolutely massive. It's like deeper than I am tall. It's quite deep, actually, like really deep ditch, and it's cool. Lunchtimes are 75 minutes long, which is an hour and 15 minutes, and that is extremely long time. I finish my lunch in like 20 minutes, and what I do, I play cards. What happened was on the second day of school, I met a friend. So I made a friend on the second day of school, which was pretty nice. She came up with the idea of playing cards because she brought cards. Because long story, so we played cards, like card games pretty much every single day at lunch, except for the days where I either have work to do or someone else is busy or whatever. Well, either way, it's something. I guess it's a pretty good idea because you can play like cards when you're bored at lunch, and it's a pretty good way to kill time. A bit more about the school. Usually, in elementary school, when the bell rings, it's like a big, continuous, loud siren, like a big, long beep. And in high school, however, or at least in my high school, instead of playing a big, long beep, they play like a little jingle, like a little chromatic scale or something. And what's funny is that it sounds exactly like, I don't know, if you ever go to like a train station or a subway or maybe even the airport, it's like the same thing where like the PA system always goes like, they play like a couple of They play like a couple of notes and then like announce the message, and it's pretty funny because every time the announcements goes on, they always play like a little jingle at first, and it sounds like you're in like a train station. You're about to board the subway or something. It's kind of funny. Also, similar to my elementary school, in the mornings they sometimes play music. They play a different song every day. At least so I've noticed. They played a song every single day. A real funny moment when I think it was the first official day of school. They played the Mission Impossible theme song, which was kind of funny because you'd be running through the halls and that'd be playing, and yeah. So I'm not really going in any sort of order. These are kind of in order for like what happened first or what I noticed first. So the AU visual program, we had our first project this week, and it was originally due Friday, but it was moved to Monday. Yes, Monday. It was moved to Monday, which was then moved to Tuesday. For a reason I'll explain later. So what we did in the what we did in the class was the first project was to draw a pine cone, which I would actually show you later. But the first project was to draw a pine cone, like a good scale rendered pine cone. And that is very hard. It is very hard to draw pine cones, okay? Excruciatingly difficult to draw pine cones. Our teacher said that, well, he said this, by the way. My teacher said this, that the best way to draw would be to understand the thing you're drawing, and so he decided to come up with the idea to name your pine cone. I don't have my pine cone with me right now, but that was in fact part of the project. We had to name a pine cone, and that was kind of interesting. It was kind of funny, kind of fun, naming pine cones. In his defense, he said it was to help understand and connect with the objects, so you could draw it better, which kind of makes sense, kind of does make sense. Keeping with the AU visual theme, where do I have it on my list? Right. So my art teacher, which I won't mention his name, is pretty famous-ish. He's kind of famous. Well, actually, technically, the entire AU program is kind of famous because if you're an AU visual, you get to help out with like projects, like city projects. Like I think a couple of years ago, the previous AU program made this mural outside of a condo or something, and we basically get to like sometimes lead a whole lot of city funded projects and privately funded projects and such, and it's kind of cool and interesting. So one thing that he did, or he had to do, was carve out these two ginormous wood sculptures, kind of like totem poles but not as high. So this Friday he brought two wood sculptures over and said that he needed that we could help him carve it, which as soon as he says so, I'm definitely going to sign up and help carve wood sculptures, because then you get to use power tools. That's what he said, and it sounds amazing and fun, and it counts for volunteer hours, which is epic. Also, sticking with the AU theme, so remember how I said last episode about things that the AU girls like to do? Well, it turns out there's more of things they like to do. A lot of them like talking about anime and TikTok, which are two things that I absolutely despise. I'm just gonna put that out there. So, yes, those are two things that are talked about a lot in class, and two things that I absolutely despise and do not want to talk about any further. Although there was this one time someone decided to show our teacher a TikTok video, and that turned out better than I thought it would turn out. Continuing on with mainstreams, so far I assume everyone in the school is mainstream, aka not gifted. I am gifted in the gifted program. I don't think anyone else is, although that's not really anything anyone says. Like, hey, I'm in the gifted program. No, it's not really a thing you need to brag about. Either way, mainstreams are weird. Well, kind of. At first, they're kind of okay. They're good to talk to, but the more you get to know them, the more you realize, oh my god, this is so cliche mainstream or something. I don't know. The more you talk to them, the more get to know them. They seem more and more mainstream. So some of the things they do is that every single person in UHS has Instagram. Why? Every single person you ask has Instagram one way or another. They don't use like Google Classroom or Google Hangouts. I don't think anyone does, to be honest. They don't use Discord, which I thought, well, actually Discord was blocked from school, so that makes sense. Every single person has Instagram, and it's so freaking annoying, because why do you need Instagram? Literally everyone has it. every single person, and it's kind of infuriating. And the worst part is everyone engages in mainstream conversations and the weirdness and this. I don't know how to describe it. Mainstream conversation is like Instagram and TikTok and clickbait YouTube videos and PewDiePie and all that sort of garbage. On a different note, non-gifted courses, academic courses. They're kind of interesting. Academic math so far has been pretty simple, actually. Academic math is I find that my math classes are extremely straightforward. They're like not confusing at all, to be honest. Like really, really straightforward. Like the teacher just stays there and talks for like pretty much just talks for an hour and gives you information, and I kind of like that. I kind of like it. I kind of don't like it. I like it because it's straightforward, it's easy, it's simple, it gives me information, and I learn it, and it works. Although I do feel like it could be a little more engaging and a little more interesting, but it's my opinion. The math itself is quite simple. I mean, we might still be in the review phase, although I think there's a quiz coming up soon. But it's pretty simple, integers, fractions, stuff like that. It's quite easy. For me, at least. Some other people, maybe not so much. Sticking with math tests, or tests in general, I had the fitness test, which was kind of a nightmare. So the fitness test, I think, unlike elementary school where you just play different sports and get marked on sports and how much you participate, you actually have to be fit. You actually have to be good at doing push-ups and exercises and planks. Planks are easy, but push-ups and running and stuff, and you're marked on that, and it's hard and different. It's different actually, because usually in my old school, at least, I think anyways, in elementary school, you get marked on participation and how hard you try, but that means nothing in high school. Yeah, so that kind of sucks. I really didn't like it. 12-minute run was also a nightmare, but I didn't like it at all. And yeah, I do not like fit. On a totally random note, just because I thought I needed to mention it, the UHS is selling these kind of like gift card things, like pretty much just like multi-store gift cards, and apparently they sell the announcements that if we sell enough, we get visited by a hip-hop artist named Anders. Who? So apparently if you sell enough of these cards, we get visited by this Anders guy, and I don't know who it is. No one knows who he is, and apparently it's cool or not. I thought I should mention that anyways, because this is something that happened. Now, finally, the last thing I need to talk about, because this is actually from what I'm recording, is almost going over the 15-minute limit. So, last thing I need to talk about is that we can talk about different things in high school. How do I say this? Well, let me try to put this way. So, we did a small poetry assignment, and we did a poetry assignment, and basically come up with a little storyline or something, a small storyline, and we decided to write about bombs and 666. And when I first thought about that, I thought, whoa, there's no way we're going to be able to write about bombs and 666 and like guns and stuff like that. And then we asked the teacher, and she's totally okay with writing about bombs and other things, which kind of blew my mind a bit, because in my elementary school we weren't allowed to write about anything that would be insensitive or offensive or inappropriate, quotes on inappropriate, which I mean kind of makes sense. I don't find bombs or the number 666 very inappropriate, but maybe some do, I don't know. Well, we weren't allowed to write about that stuff in elementary school, and we can in high school, and that's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting, because I don't need to think about, oh, that's not school appropriate, oh, that's not school appropriate, whatever. It's all fine, I hope, I think. Yeah, I feel like I'm missing something. No, I don't think I'm missing anything. Wow, this has been a long video. This is going to be a heck of a video to edit. Okay. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you next time. Adios. Bye.